to 0803 460 0970 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 0803 460 0970.
pẹ̀lú oníṣòwò ńláńlá ẹjọ́ TV channel o lè jọjà yìí tàyẹ sọ fún wọn. OSBC lókè balẹ̀ yìí channel 32 UHF náà lẹ́ sọ.
StarTimes ti dé pẹ̀lú eré alárinrin white flower bí ẹ ti mọ̀ pé a fẹ́ràn yín la ṣe pinnu láti ṣe àfihàn white flower eré òde òyìnbó sí èdè Yorùbá fún ìgbádùn yín agbẹjọ́rò Dante Cruz àti aya rẹ̀ ló ṣe kó jẹ́ ikú òjì lọ́wọ́ àwọn agbanipa látàrí ẹ̀rí ìwà àjẹbánu èyí tí ó ń tọpinpin lórí gómìnà Julio Andante àti ọmọ rẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n orí kó ọmọ wọn Lily yọ ní ọjọ́ náà ta ló pa mòfin ọ̀hún kí ni padàbọ̀ Lily sílùú Andante white flower yóò mọ̀ wá sójú ìwòran yín lórí ìkànnì ST Yorùbá lóṣù karùn-ún yìí láti ọjọ́ ajé sí ọjọ́ ẹtì nídé aago 8 àṣálẹ́ lórí ìkànnì táwa yìí ST Yorùbá ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire.
On the news tonight, federal government releases identity of fleeing terrorists. Governor Itola expresses delight at series of endorsements for his second term, says it is a reflection of good governance. World leaders mourn former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Good evening and welcome to the major reports. To meet up with Abdulkarim is my name. The authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service have released the photographs of 16 inmates, including Boko Haram insurgents and others, who escaped from the Kuje Medium Custodial Center following attacks on the facility by insurgents. But the names of Amisu Wadume, the notorious kidnap kingpin from Taraba, and Boko Haram commander Al-Banawi were not in the list. Reports say Wadume was being detained in connection with the killing of 3 members of the police intelligence response team in a special operation led by embattled Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Hiyari. The list, which carries the names and photographs of the wanted terrorists and other inmates, was the first to be issued by the service through the Office of the Public Relations Officer, Umar Abubakar. It could not be ascertained if the names and faces were that of some commanders of the insurgents or members of their families, but the NCOs only indicated that they have wanted Boko Haram insurgents and inmates who escaped from the custodial center. More endorsements for the re-election of Osun State Governor Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial elections unfolded as unions and associations re-emphasized their commitment and support towards ensuring continuation of good governance under the leadership of Governor Oyetola. Governor's Office correspondent Sonia Onorindi has more of the story.
Ahead of the forthcoming gubernatorial election in the state of Osun, more endorsements were being declared for Governor Adegboyega Oyetola towards his re-election in the July Supreme poll. Latest endorsement comprised of Osogbo Progressive Union, National Association of Nigerian Students, and Joint Campus Committee held at different venues within the state capital, addressing the leadership and members of the union and association at different points within the metropolis. Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, who appreciated the confidence and loyalty of Osogbo indigents, said that he would continue the giant strides and ensuring developmental transformations across the metropolis, irrespective of rumors being peddled about by the mischief makers. He therefore implored the eligible voters to possess the permanent voters card and remain sensitive and vigilant with their ballots. Speaking in the same vein with the Nigerian Students Association, Governor Oyetola submitted that he is passionate about imparting quality education that transforms positively the lives of younger generation and ensuring a brighter future for the incoming generation.
Please get your voters card ready. If you have one, please, it's important for you to get one now. It's the opportunity to go to the INEC office and get cards. Don't be deceived by this question for utility money. The 10,000, 20,000 will not take you to where you want to be. Don't sell your future, don't sell your future, don't rely on family study. What is the problem is your future, your career. As time to develop your career, I will be with you all through and support you absolutely.
The leadership of Osogbo Progressive Union, as well as the National Association of Nigerian Students Joint Campus Committee, who spoke in turns, poured encomiums on Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for achieving so much in all ramifications within the short space of time, adding that if given the opportunity to serve once more, the state of Osun will be better for it in terms of infrastructural developments, qualitative healthcare delivery, education transformations, overall welfare policies across the state. Also on ground to lend hands of solidarity with the governor were the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kavayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the wife of the deputy governor, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Titilayo Yepanle, the state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodo, the Director General Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, among others. From the From the governor's office, Sanya Onoide reporting.
Meanwhile, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola has expressed delight at the series of endorsements for his second-term bid, describing it as testimonials for a job well done. The governor stated this after a visit to the premises of the Osun State Broadcasting Corporation for a live program. The report is presented from our studios.
Of the governor at the premises of the OSBC was greeted with ovation as management and staff of the corporation led by the Director General, Rashid Folaromi, welcomed him with enthusiasm. Governor Oyetola was accompanied by the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wale Oyebamiji, and the Commissioner for Information and Civic Orientation, Mrs. Funke Egbemode, among other top government officials, made straight to the studio where he featured on a live TV program where he answered questions basically on the Hajj operation in Mecca and Medina, Saudi Arabia, from where programs from the state spoke directly to the governor on phone, live from Saudi Arabia. The governor reacted in an interview with OSBC News to the series of endorsement from almost all sectors in the state.
The endorsement is a reflection of what the people say about the government. That we're doing very well, and we start to have a second term. I'm elated because those endorsements are not induced by anybody at all. It's a reflection of what people think about the government.
Staff of OSBC entertained the governor this way.
The Ilerioluwa Campaign Council was at Orolu and the Repodun local government areas of the state where traditional rulers and residents of the area pledged their support for Governor Adegboyega Oyetola. Sonia Onorinde standing by for details.
Adegboyega Oyetola campaign train was received in Orolu and Repodun local government area of the state of Osun amid fanfare by members of the All Progressive Congress and residents in the area. Governor Oyetola met with traditional chiefs in Ifon led by High Chief Oyetunji Oyetunde, Esa Ifon Orolu, Olobuof Ilobu, Oba Ashiru Olaniyan, Ẹlẹ́rìn Ọ̀fẹ̀rìn Ọ̀ṣun, Ọba Yusuf Ọmọlóye, Aṣíwájú Ẹ̀rìn Ọ̀ṣun, Alhaji Hassan Alao, as well as the Seriki Hausa community in Ifon Orolu, Alhaji Sulaiman Sabo, where he was not only given the symbolic royal blessings, but equally reassured of their total support and commitments towards his re-election based on his outstanding performance. Across the state, the governor reassured the royal fathers and traditional chiefs in the area, as well as the Timi party supporters at Ifon Market Square, St. Michael Primary School, Ilobu, as well as ADS Grammar School, Ẹ̀rìn Ọ̀ṣun, that he would do more in meeting the yearnings and aspirations in terms of policies and initiatives that impact positively on the lives of the citizenry and boosting the profile of the state if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. He therefore charged them to work harder as well as keep an eagle eyes on their ballots to ensure a landslide victory.
Etí òtó ó gbà sẹ́kù ẹ̀fọ́ ọ̀balẹ̀ ẹ̀tún wo tọ́lọ̀ tó gbé fún wa ní Àbújá ní agbára ọlọ́run aṣíwájú máa ṣe ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè. Síwájú wa rí bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́ máa jẹun kẹ́ máa yọ̀ ní ẹ̀ jẹun sókè ẹ̀ máa jẹun sókè.
A theme equally emphasized by the state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, Honorable Bukola Oyewo, as well as Mrs. Abosede Ogoluwa during the campaign rally to the area. On the campaign train with the governor were the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kavayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the wife of the deputy governor, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Titila Oyeponle, Engineer Shola Akewumi, stalwarts and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. From the governor's office, Sanya Onoide reporting.
In the meantime, Governor Adeboye Garitola has declared that the intervention funds released to support business and economic growth by his administration has had significant impacts on the macroeconomic variables of the state. Governor Itola stated these were presented 300 million naira loan checks assisted by the central bank and certificates of business registration to beneficiaries at the Freedom Park, Osogbo. Adibari Ejimakindena reports.
While flagging off this year's Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises Development Fund, MSMEDF, at the Freedom Park, Osogbo, Governor Adeboye Garitola disclosed that each of the 5,000 beneficiaries will receive capital ranging from 250,000 naira up to 3 million naira as assistance in their business. Governor Adeboye Garitola expressed appreciation to the Central Bank for the 300 million intervention funds, while thanking President Muhammadu Buhari for implementing a policy that makes the federal government's agencies to intervene in the needs of the people of Osun and the revitalization of the state economy. Governor Oyetola, who was represented by his deputy, Mr. Benedict Alabi, affirmed that the previous intervention funds released to support business growth in the economic sector by his government has had notable impacts on the macroeconomic variables of the state. Governor Adeboye Oyetola submitted that his administration is working assiduously to stimulate the state's economy and create wealth for the benefit of the masses and the incoming generations. According to him, the economic policy of the state is steadily reducing the poverty rate and income inequalities among citizens. The state EPSMA, who also presented certificate of company registration by the Corporate Affairs Commission to over 6,600 registrants at the 2-in-1 program, disclosed that the Central Bank of Nigeria recently released the sum of 300 million naira to Osun State government for disbursement as macro credit facilities to qualified individuals, small and medium enterprises, as well as various cooperative societies engaged in viable economic activities, both informal and informal business organizations in the state.
Today's intervention by the Central Bank, an annual event since 2018, which is targeted at medium, small and micro enterprises, is a commendable step towards improving the individual prosperity of our people and further stimulating the economy and the nation being undertaken by our administration.
Governor Oyetola promised that the disbursement of the funds will be transparent to enable qualified people and groups have access to the fund. He charged interested persons and groups in the macro credit facilities to reach out to Osun Micro Credit Agency at number 26 Alekuwadu Road, Okefia, for disbursement. Mr. Governor congratulated the selected beneficiaries of this year's tranche of Medium, Small and Micro Enterprises Development Fund, urging them to judiciously apply the funds for the purposes for which they are meant. In his address, the Commissioner for Commerce, Industry, Cooperative and Empowerment, Dr. Bodiola Onikwekun, revealed that Osun is the leading state in the management of the fund and qualified for the second tranche because the previous beneficiaries performed creditably well under the coordination of Osun Micro Credit Agency, while thanking Mr. Governor for approving free registration of business and company by the State's Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, towards enhancing the growth of the state's economy. He admonished the people to reciprocate the good gesture of Mr. Governor in the scheme of all things. In their keynote addresses, the National Association of Microfinance Bank Chairman Osun State, Alhaji Majid Salami, and the General Manager Osun Microcredit Agency, Mr. Adesanya Olopade, eulogized Governor Oyetola for not politicizing the disbursement procedure, saying the feat attained has aided low poverty and unemployment rate, as well as enhancing the economy of Osun among its counterparts across the nation. Present at the occasion were state ESCO members, political stalwarts, monarchs, among other dignitaries. Adibari Ijmagide, OSBC News.
Landlords of Ifesowako community, Ukiuniti in Osogbo, have thrown their weight behind Governor Adeboye Garitola's re-election for her second term due to his monumental achievements in the area of rehabilitation and constructions of roads in all the nooks and crannies of the state. David Ojo completes the story.
To the governor on civic engagement, Honorable Olatubosun Itiloye brought excitement to the hearts of landlords in the Ifesowako community area in Okeoniti, Osogbo. Speaking on behalf of the community, Ajewole Akon said the achievement of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola speaks volume on why he should be re-elected for the second term. He acknowledged that no governor in the state has performed tremendously well to the extent that its programs and policies cut across all sectors in the state. Akomo assured the present administration the community's total support and loyalty. In his remarks to a special advisor to the governor on civic engagement, Honorable Olatunbosun Itiloye said enlightening various communities is key, especially in the reason why they should collect their permanent voter cards and modalities that the Independent National Electoral Commission will use in the Osun gubernatorial election. He appealed to the community visited to vote massively for Governor Oyetola so that the good works he has started will continue immediately he resumed for second term in office.
I've encouraged them that they should support the governor, the incumbent governor, Alhaji Adegboyega Oyetola, for continuity to sustain the development that Osun is experiencing now, and to add more value, because there are goodies, there are improvements in the next dispensation.
Honorable Onyitiloye thereafter assured them of more dividends of democracy as Governor Adegboyega Oyetola resumes for the second term in office. This is David Ojo reporting for OSBC News.
Beneficiaries of the ongoing free integrated medical and surgical outreach program in Osun State have lauded Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for making the health of the citizens his major concern, even from the grassroots level. Or Motayo Adebodu has the details.
Shogbo Olorunda, Iwo, and Irewole local government area of Osun State benefited from a free integrated medical and surgical outreach organized by the Osun State government through the state primary health care. This exercise took place in Isali Agbara primary health care in Oshogbo local government, Atelewo primary health care in Olorunda local government, Alaye maternity center in Iwo, and Ikire in Irewole local government. During the outreach, doctors, nurses, and different categories of healthcare providers offered medical care to the people suffering from different kinds of ailments and other health-related challenges in that area. Tests were conducted to ascertain the health conditions of beneficiaries, free medical examinations, free distribution of drugs, counseling and awareness talk, blood sugar level check, and surgeries. Speaking with OSBC News, medical officers in Olorunda, Iwo, and Irewole local government, Dr. Ayotunde Adeshina, Dr. Olusegun Adebayo, and Dr. Afolabi Adegboyega all lauded the initiative from the state government for bringing succor to the people suffering from all kinds of ailments who could not afford medical treatment. They stated that the exercise has been each free and well organized.
When we look at the turnouts, in fact, it was very encouraging, and even up till now, people are still trooping in.
It was a hitch-free exercise. It was well organized. There wasn't any reason for us to panic. There wasn't cause for alarm. We had enough medication in our stock, and we have enough personnel.
They are actually praising the governor for the kind of program, because it actually helped the poor who could not access health before. They were able to come around, and we have been attending to them.
They counsel people to avoid lifestyle that can make them susceptible to a certain life-threatening ailment. Or Motayo Adebodu, OSBC News.
It is few hours to the Helio Kabel celebrations, and preparations are in top gear, has leading to increase in human and vehicular movement. This station reports Oluwatobiloba about Junior brings they happening in town.
All over the world by Muslim faithful, and the festival often comes with increase in human and vehicular movement. This year's celebration is not an exemption, as observed by OSBC News crew in Oshogbo, capital of Osun State. Visitations to marketplaces including Igbono Market, MDS Market, and Otaifu Market, among others, show massive turnout of people buying goods and foodstuff to make this year's Salah celebration a memorable one. Some of the buyers and sellers who spoke with OSBC News, noted that the inflationary trend in the market will not prevent them from celebrating with their loved ones, as they will ensure they cut their coat according to the size of the cloth. Some of the products in night demand, as observed by the OSBC News, include rice, which still goes for 30,000 naira per bag and 1,000 naira per module. Also, a module of honey beans goes for 1,200. 5 liters of vegetable oil is sold for 6,000, while a bucket of pepper goes for 2,500, and same quantity of tomato is sold at 2,000 naira. Other products such as clothing materials, shoes, bag, and accessories, among others, were also in high demand. It was also observed that the demand for rams have increased as buyers trooped to various ram markets in Oshogbo to make the last-minute purchase of the all-important products.
250, 220, Jale. How come I'm buying now? I'm coming down. Yes, it's different, not because everything of course. So the price is different.
The news crew also visited some motor parks in Oshogbo, the state capital, including Okefia Motor Park, Otaifu Motor Park, and Old Garage Motor Park, where people boarded different vehicles. They hoped would take them to their destinations, while some are traveling within Osun State to their hometown to celebrate the Ilea festival with their loved ones. Others are traveling outside to reunite with families and friends. Findings revealed that there was no increase in the transportation fare, despite the increase in the number of travelers. Some of the motor park operators, including Mr. Assis Saliu, Mr. Olatoyinbo Dauda, and Mr. Taufik Olayinka, in separate interviews with OSBC News, maintained that there is no increment to the prices of which people are boarding the vehicle at the parks. They added that Oshogbo to Lagos and Abeokuta is between 2,500 naira and 3,200 naira, while Oshogbo to Abuja is 8,100, Oshogbo to Kaduna, Kano, and Jos is between 9,100 and 10,100, among others. They enjoin all to always ensure they board the vehicles at the designated park so as to ensure the safety of their lives and their properties. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga reporting for OSBC News.
In our sports, former FIFA President Sepp Blatter and former UEFA President Michel Platini were both cleared of corruption charges by a Swiss court. Blatter, who led FIFA for 70 years, was cleared of fraud by the Federal Criminal Court in the southern city of Bellinzona. Platini, a former France national team captain and manager, was also acquitted of fraud. The two, once among the most powerful figures in world football, had denied the charges against them. On the foreign scene, world leaders have been reacting with shock to the death of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. The leaders, among whom were Japan's current Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol, former U.S. President Donald Trump, and the current President of U.S. Joe Biden, Queen Elizabeth of England, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, acting UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, among others. They described the killing of former Japanese Prime Minister Abe as an unacceptable act of crime. Late Shinzo Abe was Japan's longest-serving prime minister, known for his hawkish foreign policy and a signature economic strategy that popularly came to be known as Abenomics. A conservative nationalist by most descriptions, the 67-year-old Abe led the Liberal Democratic Party to victory thrice. Japan was in a recession when he began his second term, and his economic policy, built on a monetary easing, fiscal stimulus, and structural reforms, was credited with helping growth return to a faltering economy. Abe was known as the best political figure internationally. And that ends the major reports tonight on OSBC Television. It was edited by Babatunde Bolatito. Good night.